Okay, we are back with season 4 to finish off this monster break.
I know.
Break is still sponsored by Blowout Cards. Let's get right to it. And Michael, just for you, Tom Washaha.
Should I bring one Chan for damage?
And I missed a little bit there. Also, a few posts back, you posted some of the extremely limited autographs. Was that from season 6 or is that from season 4? I missed it, so I wasn't sure where that one was coming from. Alright, autograph was on the very first pack. I hate that.
Should I put Friend Death Cam to understand about all of this?
Well, I do know that Kit Harington is in season 4, so I'm hoping for that. These go this way. Alright, like that.
Oh my god. Oh no. It's okay. Oh! Are you good now? I got ball.
I'm going to open these top bottom just in case the autograph's the bottom pack on this row too.
Oh my god. Oh, you're down. There now.
I don't remember if when I opened up
Rough whistle.
this before if we pulled any.
Not 3 whistle.
There's these Valor Morgalis inserts. Well, they do a nice job on cards.
That was fun. I think I'll go more.
Also with the relics and sketches, it's a combined odds.
When Kabbalah has mid-80s stamina, these
So
like so good.
we'll get 2 where we're supposed to. One of the previous cases of this that we opened, we actually got 3 different things. But supposed to get 2, either 1 sketch and 1 pin relic, or 2 pin relics and no sketch, I believe. I don't think you ever get 2 sketches. Was what a pun. If it was, whatever you're talking about, I missed it. Ah.
Different ones again. I came against 3 different Juventuses, that's insane. That was so nice. I mean, there was more than one than the ball with the ball.
You guys can start a Game of Thrones stand-up comedy hour.
I know you did.
Noah Taylor. A piece of plastic on him. Lucian Mazmati.
That's a bad foul. Sorry, handball. Ronaldo, good. That's excellent. That's you're not scoring that.
So do you guys have any non-ELs on your want lists that you're hoping to see come out of here?
That's not a good ball. Yeah. Just push around everything. Oh, you got the all center, baby.
Is it anybody big from season 7? I mean, hell, you can get a whole case of season 7 for like $200 when it's on sale. Ah. The wrappers aren't cooperating. Excuse me. Well, tell you what, if you ever want to give yourself a good laugh, you should just look and see any one of my breaks that I've actually joined myself and see how well I do in general in my own breaks. It's just terrible. I don't know why I bother.
Do it. I thought I had it.
Well, like I said, I'm not, at least for Game of Thrones, you know, I like to collect. I want all the base and inserts and the foils. I don't bother with the golds. So if I get a high pick, the 3 times it's ever happened, I try and trade them down. But usually for me, the best pick is somewhere out of the top 10 on the whole. I'm happy. But when it's a break of 40 spots and I'm usually number 38, doesn't doesn't do me any good.
That's cool. That's such a good tackle.
It's one of the things I actually like about the snake drafts is that because we're doubling up on our picks, everybody's first pick is usually halfway decent. All right, Laura Predelska.
I don't know. They played Juventus for the last like 6 days now.
Oh yes.
Oh, the sun was in my eyes.
Oh hell, you get the idea. Mark Stanley. Laura Predelska goes number 1.
I got it.
Is that part of your stand-up routine? Alright, so the first 2 boxes, the autographs were on the very bottom. Let's see if that She's the Night King. You get a foil and a gold in the same pack.
Oh, I should have let that off.
Bonus.
Oh my god, close. Center back, so deep. I keep thinking yours were. Oh my god, I know what I'm doing.
Here's a pin, relic, something in there. Okay. And also, whatever the thing is in it, it sticks up higher than the card does because there's a little bump in the wrapper. You got a foil and a quotable in the same pack.
Okay.
No, he's not. He's so bad at. He's so good at dribbling and pace and like skill, but shooting is just so poor. And finding time is back with a vengeance. You know, I forgot to ask you. You had mentioned
Over here? Okay.
about when you got some of your cards when you were away, the Supergirl ones, that you were surprised that you had, with your lower picks, you actually ended up with good cards. Did you see that entire break?
Yep.
There's our first autograph.
Sorry to beat him. Well, I shouldn't have to even actually out wide. Maybe Alexander, I don't know if he went.
Second autograph. Yeah, I know. And let's see, who'd we get? Little
Oh,
Fingers
wow.
Mockingbird. 49 of 300.
Oh, quit, man. I dare you.
And the one thing about these cards
That wasn't. Oh, sorry. That wasn't
is that they're
really good game.
bigger than a 240 point top loader, which is the biggest that I have. So
Yeah, we played pretty good tonight. On a hole.
throw him in the team bag. And then they put a base card on top of it. Yara got shot in the head. I'll show you the back so you can see that dimple in it right there. And then got her right between the eyes. It's right on the forehead. So she's dead. Well, you got to hope for a sketch at all. It's not guaranteed. Okay, we start with Ian Beatty. Beatty. There it goes. And Finn Jones. Okay, 3 down, 9 to go. Here's our case topper. Come on. Okay. Hey, I'm blind too. That's why I always complain about the size of the numbering on the backs of cards. You know, I learned it from back in the day when, you know, my old... Oh, come on, now the autograph's on top. Back in the day with the TV, you just keep banging it, eventually it'll work. You guys wrestling fans? I used to be when I was younger. Yeah, I just seen a week or two ago. Did you see that the Dynamite Kid had passed away? I used to like the British Bulldogs. Yeah, it said it was on his 60th birthday. I was learning at 28 that it was all staged. I thought it was a real shame what happened with Jimmy Snuka. The whole thing with the dementia and what was it he killed? Was it his girlfriend that he killed? But when I was, I don't know, I guess 10 or 12, I can't remember exactly when. I used to love watching it, like in the early 80s, with the, what was it, the NWA. That's where the Four Horsemen and the Road Warriors and Ric Flair, they were all over there. That was the best. That's because those guys really put it all out on the line back then. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I mean, a real shame was a couple years ago. There used to be a show on, what the hell was it called? It was a fake pawn shop show, and it was like this family that owned a pawn shop in Detroit. Care Logan. and Lex Luger came in, and he walks with a cane. He's stick thin. John Stahl. But you'd watch that wrestling, and then you'd switch over to the WWF, and it was a lot more, I don't want to say PG, but it was definitely more kid-friendly. They used to have all those like skits they would run. I remember watching Glow. That was what, like late 80s, early 90s? I mean, I vaguely remember it. I mean, I know I watched it. Because they had the one Hawaiian lady, she was like really big. And it was, what was her name, like Mount Fuji or something like that? Did she really? Oh, jeez. Yeah, the only other thing I could remember was, yeah, you see, I remember one girl who, I think she was supposed to be like Eve, like from Adam and Eve, and she wore like a skin-colored bodysuit with, like some vines on it. I remember that. And then, I think there was like a hillbilly girl. That's about as far as I can remember. Did you watch that TV show that they made that's like it? Ninotchka. Maybe if I saw a picture. I always remember some like weird little odds and ends of wrestling in general. Especially when they used to screw up. When they'd hide their razor blades in their wristbands, and then they would forget to cut themselves, and Then you'd see them hurry up and smack themselves in the face. Oh, I remember when she was in for wrestling. Then, who was it? The Great Kabuki? The one. It was a guy. He used to like spray this green mist in people's faces, and he used to just like magically come out of nowhere. And I remember one time watching a match where he was. He had a guy like in a leg lock or something, and the referee comes over and actually puts the green stuff in his mouth for him. We'll start with Eugene Simon. The good old days. Hannah Murray. All right, so at least we're moving up. Got a better character there. The thing that always got me, I was surprised about, was when I first started watching ECW, that so few of the wrestlers from that, because ECW got big, at least in my area, since it was, close to me. But very few of those wrestlers made it into other, more in a larger, what do you call it? Organizations. And maybe they didn't want to be. Some of them seem to be as crazy as their characters were. No autograph already. That stinks. That stinks. That is thick and heavy. That means we probably aren't getting a sketch in this case. It got awful quiet. Nobody, no more talking. Guess we gotta switch subjects or go back to making jokes. Okay, Pin Baratheon, 211 of 300. This does not feel as thick as that Littlefinger one. Nope, it was not. Said it just kind of stinks that not 100% guarantee, but getting 2 pin medallions, whatever, usually means no sketch, because it's supposed to be a 1 in 144 combined odds between the two. Alright, Dominic Carter and Fenton McKeon. Still have 12 more chances. What's going on, Russell? Haven't stopped. What else is new? Been sorting and packing and scanning. Right off the bat. Damn, again. Let's go top down. Hey, you'll be happy to know I got my FedEx made my delivery today. So I didn't have to wait till Tuesday for all my supplies from BCW, so I can finish packing up some stuff. I mean, it must be because of the holidays. Are you in any of these other breaks, Russell? Okay, you'll have to wait a few days for that one. I'm hoping to have some room. Every square inch of space on my desks and tables are all completely covered in cards right now. Got too many breaks going on. I'm adding more than I'm mailing out or subtracting. What's road tax? Definitely sounds busy. That's interesting. Do you have any roads that you have to pay tolls on in anywhere near where you live? Or does that sort of cover that? Like taking care of the roads, in your, area, state, country, however it's set out. Health insurance premiums, that's the worst. I'm getting hit with that now. Where my wife works now, they don't offer any health insurance, so I'm getting health insurance through my employer, and we're a very small company, so they don't get any kind of break from the insurance companies, and my health insurance is going to be more than the mortgage on my house, which is I just can't even imagine that. But I guess I've got to get used to it. Kate Dickey. Here's a better one. Christopher Huyu, however you pronounce that name. Good old Giants beam. Yeah, I just wasn't sure when you mentioned his road tax that if that was like to pay to maintain the roads themselves. I wish I could understand the health insurance system. It's just god awful in the United States. The worst is the insurance that we used to have for a few months was basically we just paid to say we had insurance because by law in the United States you had to have insurance, which I believe they're getting rid of that for next year. Yeah, that's nice. See, I'll pay for my family. I will pay. Trying to think now. I think it's $1,600 a month for my family, and the healthcare isn't even anything special. Like that doesn't even include dental and eye care. Change around. The fold in the wrapper was in the wrong spot for me. And the insurance, like I said, that I had up until, I switched back to my employer's insurance was less than half that, but you pretty much had to pay everything until you met a certain deductible. It is. It's the biggest sham. I guess the problem is that there's too many people that try and take advantage of the system. So they increase the rate so that everybody else gets to pay for them. Well, isn't that a fun discussion? It's probably something like 3 goats and a horse. You're not covered. Okay, completely? Like for the rest of the season?
Should I tell him to come tomorrow? Should I tell him to come tomorrow?
Sure, if you want. It's up to you. Sorry about that. So, yeah. You just have to burn a little girl at the stake to do it. So you got to keep stable little kids around. Speaking of burning kids at the stake, Kerry Ingram. And what do we got here? Joseph Alton. Four to go. Getting tired. Can I make it, or are you gonna find me dozing off? Autograph on the bottom. Flip it over. I feel like you guys are going to have me breaking cards on Christmas Eve. I actually have it right next to me because I had the Eagles game on. I was trying to kind of keep an eye on the overtime. Wonder how many people would even bother with I'm sorry. You shot an eagle. Yeah, well, I don't really I really don't play video games anymore. Does it say how many boxes of Larian Steel they have? A lot of times, at least with cases, they only list 5 at a time. What the hell is Wow Vanilla? World of something. Oh, World of Warcraft. Never played it. I don't, like I said, I don't. I used to play, what was that game I played? It was a Marvel game. World of Heroes, maybe? Yeah, I actually spent money on that one. Then the company that made it just went up and closed the game down. All the rare stuff, they just gave it out for free. And then said, alright, we'll be shutting down the game in a couple of weeks. Everybody filed chargebacks through Google. I got a portion of my money back. Alright, well look, Michael posted in my break thread, you know, the get to know your host. That way I'll see it, because I'll forget in about 5 minutes. And then we'll see what we can do for the next round. Alright, Ben Hawkey, Little Hot Pie. And here's Melisandre. Oh, you know what? Son of a bitch, look at the card. The card's damaged. I did just notice. Come on, focus. Look at that. I didn't see anything wrong with the wrapper. I wonder if it, yeah, you know what? It got caught right on the edge of the crimp. I can actually see where it happened. Well, that sucks. I do seem to be the most active on that one, don't I? That's because a lot of them they don't ask. They just throw up breaks. I mean, I'm not going to put up a break if I don't have that's autograph already. If I don't have the general thought that it's going to fill. And then you guys are always posting in there too. I was going to be posting in my break thread I'm going to be looking for Christmas presents from everybody. I'm looking for the, yeah, that would be nice, but no. I'm looking for the gift of feedback. I tell you what, my goal this year for that thing, though, is I'm going to get a new computer, so then maybe I can, I mean, this is my second camera, and this is supposed to be better than my first one, but it's just the focusing. I don't know why it fights about it. But no, what I'm hoping for is everybody that's been in a break that hasn't left me feedback, leaves me feedback. I'm closing in, and I'm still pretty far away for 2,000 feedback. I think I'm almost at 1,800. And the crazy thing is, if you look at my feedback and you see how many I left, it is a considerable difference that how many I've left versus how many I've received. But I do have a goal of getting well, I hope so. I figure the worst feedback I could get is maybe neutral because I'm boring. I figure I'll never catch Houdini. He's got like 8,000 feedback. I think I'm seventh on the list, maybe eighth for amount of feedback. I know after a certain point it really doesn't mean anything, but it's just fun to have. Alright, we got here Francis McGee. And Ian White. So now isn't oh, that's right, because they switched characters. But Ian White's also the guy that is the Giant. What the hell's the Giant's name? I forget. Some with a W. I know probably my last one, maybe two breaks, I might not have left feedback yet for everybody. I usually do it in batches. 4 more chances. Woon woon, that's it. That's Ian White also, isn't it? And then I know Ian White's also got autographs in Star Wars. Flipping them over. We pulled 2 of the pins, medallions, things. So since we pulled 2 of those, chances are we're not going to get a sketch because the overall odds are 1 in 144 for both of those combined. Now, one of the season 4 cases that we did in the past, we had gotten a sketch and 2 pins. So I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just highly unlikely. I think I've opened, this will be my 3rd case of season 4, and I believe it was one case we got 1 sketch and 2 pins, and then in the other case we did a 1 and 1. Oh, that's right. He hosted Saturday Night Live. I saved that on my DVR. I'll have to check it out. They had done a skit. Might have been when Peter Dinklage hosted, but I almost don't think he was even in the skit. But when you watch Game of Thrones on demand, you know how they do that, like behind the scenes. There's like 5-10 minute thing after the show's over. It was one of those, and I think Kate McKinnon was Amelia Clark, and then who's the guy? Maybe Bobby Moynihan was his name. Was just the dragon. It was just this guy in a green suit. I remember that one not being pretty funny. Alrighty. Amy Richardson. And the miscut one herself, Una Chaplin. And I see what you're saying about the miscut. You can see that's probably about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/16 of an inch. And it's also like diamond cut. It's weird because the edge, the border looks straight. But when you compare it to, like if I try and overlay it on the other card, it seems to be like a tiny bit crooked too. But yeah, I mean the bottom's definitely skinny. But Game of Thrones musical, what is that from? Or who did it, I should say. So now that's actually the rarest autograph, though, isn't it? Even though it's miscut. I'll have to search for that later. Rastafarian Targaryen. Well, you might as well wait a few minutes. There's only a couple packs left, and then we're done the whole break. You can see who we ended up getting for these last 2 autographs. Hopefully we won't end on a whimper. Dun dun dun. There we go. Somebody good. Somebody good. Not bad. Nothing crazy. And nope. Ron Donachi. And the blue, Natalie Emmanuel. Alright, that's going to do it for the Game of Thrones break. I would say that the Cersei autograph out of Season 6. Now, you know, I'm talking about the 2 cases, not the archive box. Would have been the best one out of these. We did get the Daenerys relic out of Season 6, so we didn't get the Hodor. And we did get the undercut Season 4 Una Chaplin autograph. And that's about it. Everything else is, you know, what you're supposed to get. All the different inserts and parallels and whatnot. So, that is going to do it. I will get scanning as soon as I can. Monday nights for the next roughly 7-8 weeks are kind of tight for me because my son has his indoor season. So, I usually don't get home until about 10 o'clock. My time. I will try and scan what I can, whether it be tonight or in the morning before I go to work, and I'll do whatever I can do on tomorrow night and then into Tuesday. So I just ask you be patient. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys on the next break.